Idaho's Harold M. Tucker Herbarium and Boise State University's Snake River Plains Herbaria are two small university herbaria with about 90,000 specimens between them. They nonetheless represent between them, the single most comprehensive collection for the Southwest Idaho area, and a floristically interesting and largely overlooked region of the country. To illustrate the degree to which our specimens are frequently overlooked, one need only look at the distribution maps in the recent flora of North America. One such example is here. This is the distribution map for Carex vesicaria, found apparently in all but one of Idaho's neighbors, but not in Idaho itself. Yet C of I has 7 and SRP has 5 collections of this species. We simply weren't large enough for the cost of examining them to be particularly worth it. To address these problems of remoteness and relative lack of publicity, C of I and BSU have jointly acquired an NSF grant and begun to digitize their collections. The project is called SWITCH, Southwest Idaho, the Comprehensive Herbarium. Over the project's 3-year span, we're going to produce high-resolution images, digitize the label data, and georeference every one of both C of I and BSU's 90,000 specimens and an additional 22,000 at agency herbaria, the Bureau of Land Management, the Forest Service, et cetera, in the surrounding area. We hope by doing so to improve accessibility to our data, which will benefit a great number of people in a great many different ways. It will, of course, stimulate research from local checklists all the way up to national floristic and taxonomic studies. At BSU and C of I alone, taxonomy studies range from African Gesneriids all the way to local Owyhee County endemics. It'll improve the accessibility of primary botanical data for land management decisions, which is a very important function in a state where rapid urbanization, agriculture, grazing, invasive species, changing fire regimes, timber harvest, et cetera, all threaten dozens of ill-understood rare and endemic species. It will improve also accessibility for citizen scientists and the general public. In Boise alone, we have 3 rather large, rather active citizen science groups. We have, of course, university teaching. Instructors will be able to use more specimens and more fragile ones for teaching without fear of damage. And people who might never otherwise consider using herbaria. Medical and veterinary professionals dealing with pets and children who've ingested unknown plants, ecological reconstruction workers, volunteers and otherwise dealing with native plants and weeds, even K through 12 classrooms exploring botany and ecology. All of them will be able for the first time to inform their activities with primary botanical data on local species collected locally. We're using a system of digitization developed by the Consortium of Pacific Northwest Herbaria, PNW Herbaria, created generally in-house by Ben Legler at the University of Washington. It's quite efficient. Each specimen is imaged in a photography lightbox, the data captured using custom Python scripts and uploaded to databases housed on PNW Herbaria servers. The databases are accessible through a web application, which allows multiple students to work at the same time. All our label data is captured by hand. We have far too many handwritten labels to rely on OCR. As of June 2012, we're well ahead of schedule, no less. We have nearly 2.5 times the number of images planned, as planned for this point, and we're right on time with digitization, databasing, apologies. It's not so much a question of whether we'll finish on time, but how early we'll finish and what we'll do with the remaining time. We could expand our geographic range, deal with more and smaller herbaria, including perhaps the National Park Service herbaria at Hagerman Fossil Beds or Craters of the Moon. The possibilities continue. It's an exciting project to be part of, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where it goes.